You're listening to Infographic Instant with Brian Michael. In this episode, we're going to look at to what extent bribery in Hong Kong is more common than many might think. Before we start our discussion of the infographic, let's talk a little bit about the broader paper that the infographic comes from. In that paper, we look at the extent to which the ICAC, or Independent Commission Against Corruption, can help facilitate the adoption of anti-corruption policies which discourage Hong Kong businesses from engaging in bribery and other forms of corruption. Now, when we say that the ICAC undertakes these activities, we're talking about administrative activities that the ICAC can undertake. But of course, many legal reforms that we propose in the paper are not within the purview of the ICAC. The ICAC does not pass legislation, for example. Therefore, we discuss some things that the Commission might do in order to encourage lawmakers to adopt these anti-corruption measures. So let's look together at the infographic. The infographic shows a range of illegal and unethical activities which Hong Kong business people purportedly engage in. On the y-axis shows the percent of respondents in a Hong Kong Institute of Chartered Secretaries survey. It shows the percent of respondents thinking that this behavior is quote-unquote common. So, reading the infographic together, we see that these survey participants thought that conflict of interest was relatively common. 50% of respondents said that conflict of interest was common. And working our way down the infographic from abuse of position to improper procurement. Bribery at 40% of respondents thinking that bribery is common in Hong Kong business. And to lesser extent, unfair competition, tax evasion, insider dealing, infractions of environmental law, and so forth. What's surprising is that until the passage of the Competition Act, much of unfair competition was relatively legal from a purely legal point of view in Hong Kong. Therefore, why these data are not higher in terms of unfair competition remains somewhat of a mystery. Nevertheless, if these data reflect general experiences with bribery and other forms of illegal and unethical behavior, then this suggests that the corruption problem is more widespread in Hong Kong than many people tend to believe. Indeed, ICAC has also found in its survey evidence that far more than 10,000 people experience some form of corruption. In the paper, we mention 40,000 persons, but we used a formula to arrive at this figure, which by no means probably reflects the actual data the ICAC report in their survey. And we encourage readers to look at those data more closely for themselves. Nevertheless, when we step back and look at the data in this infographic in general, we ask ourselves, well, what kind of policy should Hong Kong undertake to reduce these numbers? Now, one such policy is passing a failure to dissuade corruption provision in the Prevention of Bribery Ordinance. Following the UK and to a lesser extent the US example, both of these common law jurisdictions have imposed penalties on companies that fail to adequately exercise surveillance over their agents. It includes suppliers, it includes employees, and in that way these legal provisions make these companies, they give them much stronger incentives to prevent, to detect, and to punish corruption before it comes to the level of criminal investigation and prosecution. So we hope that you've enjoyed this issue of Infographic Instance with Brian Michael.